The BMW 1 Series represents a unique offering in the hatchback segment. It combines the compact dimensions and practicality of a hatchback with the dynamic appeal of rear-wheel drive. It's also a very successful formula, with almost 2 million of these cars sold worldwide since it was first launched. This is the updated, latest version with fresher styling and an upgraded interior. Hatchbacks, even hot hatches, are a dime a dozen, all sticking to the tried and trusted recipe of compact dimensions, powerful engines, agile dynamics and front-wheel drive. All that is, except BMW. Rear-wheel drive is inherent to BMW's motoring DNA, and in the 1 Series, the Bavarian automaker continues to stick to the front-engined rear-wheel drive configuration it's always championed. Yes, that rear-wheel drive layout probably isn't the most efficient, but it does set it apart from the mainstream rest, even if BMW itself is starting to introduce front-wheel drive cars too. Styling is always a subjective issue, but in the case of the 1 Series, it's a more controversial one than most. Certainly the car's always been more pugnacious than pretty, but this latest version is a lot tidier and perhaps a little bit more attractive. The front end completely different, headlights are all new and a reprofiled grille at the rear, a tidier treatment, and then of course, because this is the M Sport version, there's a lot of color coding as well, which adds a bit of visual cohesion. The M Sport package also includes a bolder body kit and bigger wheels, all of which tends to focus the attention on the 125i's performance potential. The silhouette of the 1 Series remains unmistakably BMW, showcasing the extended nose, the perched squat rear and the high waistline. Sculpted flanks and a low stance endow this 125i with a typical hot hatch character, although with an added touch of premium class. The 3-door version tested here always looks the more athletic proposition, although there's no doubt its 5-door sibling is more practical and more versatile. And if you've driven both, you'll know that there's little to choose between the 3-door and 5-door when it comes to dynamic capability. However, the 3-door's shortcomings become particularly obvious once you spend some time in the cabin. The 3-door shape also impacts on the interior, and for rear passengers, getting in and out is not the easiest, despite the presence of those big doors. It also feels a little bit claustrophobic sitting in the back. Having said that though, the boot's pretty impressive at 360 litres, and if you fold the rear seat flat, you get 1,200 litres of cargo space. The premium ambience of the cockpit is very much in evidence, with the M Sport package adding sporty touches. The driving position is excellent, and the grippy, thick-rimmed steering wheel provides the perfect helm. Despite the update, not much has changed in terms of cabin design and overall execution. However, standard equipment has been upgraded across the board. The 125i is fairly comprehensively equipped, including the iDrive system complete with colour screen, as well as climate control, central locking, electric windows and mirrors, and a multi-speaker audio system with Bluetooth. A long list of added cost extras allows further personalization. There is a surprise under the bonnet, however. Another feature of this updated 1 Series is the introduction of BMW's new 3-cylinder and 4-cylinder modular engines. Despite its 125i designation, this engine in fact is a 2-litre 4-cylinder unit, producing 160 kilowatts of maximum power at 5,000 RPM. But the real feature here is the torque, 310 Newton meters sustained all the way from the low 1,000s to 3,800 RPM. The gearbox is an 8-speed automatic. The engine is superb. With loads of mid-range punch and a smooth linear delivery, it feels beefier than the figures suggest, more like a traditional Big 6 than a Turbo 4. The partnership with the 8-speed Steptronic gearbox is a good one, and in practice the result feels better than most dual-clutch designs, especially when using the shift paddles in sport mode. The 125i is a frisky performer. It's eager off the mark, and the composed chassis means that handling is excellent through the twisties as well. Even the gearbox is nice and quick, all of which means that this is in fact a sporty car to drive. But with all that mid-range punch, it's also pretty good cruising on the open road. The 0 to 100 time, a decent 6.2 seconds, which in fact is quicker than the manual car, and the top speed 243 kilometers an hour. The The good news is that BMW has endowed the 125i with a chassis to match the drivetrain. The handling is sure-footed and confident, encouraging spirited driving, and the overall balance is excellent, with the car remaining poised and neutral in the twisties. In fact, this hatchback is so agile and so balanced that its rear-wheel drive character isn't that obvious. Ample traction out of the tight and accurate, perfectly calibrated steering ensure that the 125i is at its best when carving its way through curves and corners. The three-door BMW 125i is unique in its segment. In fact, it's the only contender with rear-wheel drive, while the three-door layout offers a lot of sporty appeal. Of course, that three-door layout does come at the cost of practicality, but then dynamically, this is a great little car, a beaut of an engine, a really well-sorted chassis, all of which conspires to create a car that lives up to BMW's ethos of sheer driving pleasure. A punchy four-cylinder turbo engine is the heart of this agile and dynamically entertaining hatchback, while the 8-speed autobox feels smoother and quicker than most dual-clutch designs. The M Sport package adds visual appeal and there's plenty of standard kit, but the three-door layout is not the most practical.